According to Mark. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." Many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, get up, Jesus is calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed him on the way. The Gospel of the Lord. Humans were never meant to sit for long periods of time. We were born to move. We were born to run, chase after things. When you have little ones, you know that they try to get up and walk as soon as they can. They start running as soon as they can, and they give you heart attacks. And then when kids are older, they instinctively know that sitting in a chair in a class for 7 hours a day is a terrible idea. We simply were not made to sit all day. And yet, how many of us find ourselves sitting at a desk for 7, 8 hours a day? I fit into that category. If you sit in front of a computer all day, that's how you are. If you're sitting in a car most of the day, driving to work, you're seated. And then, of course, how long do we spend sitting, looking at our phones, looking at the TV each day? Just take some time, add up all the hours that you spend doing that. Of course, it's ironic that you're sitting here listening to me speak up here. But at least we as Catholics have a little bit of calisthenics. We sit, stand, kneel, we sit, stand, kneel, so we move around a little bit while we're here. There's lots of evidence showing that sitting for extended periods of time has caused a lot of problems, especially for Americans. So each year in the United States, people call in sick for work 265 million times for back pain, just simply for back pain. That's an average of 2 back pain days per American worker per year. And it shouldn't be surprising, because lots of these problems come from the fact that we're sitting all day long. We're immersed in this sedentary lifestyle at work, at school, with our technology. We're just sitting all the time. Now, you may think that I'm too young for this, but I have to admit that I too, from time to time, will have some back discomfort. And I think that's in no small part due to the fact that I'm sitting in front of a computer at a desk for most of the day. Sitting in a comfortable chair with a nice comfy cushion under my rear, with a nice comfy neck rest. I don't have to keep myself balanced. I don't have to use my spine or my back muscles to keep myself upright. My body is supported in that chair 100%. And because of that, I don't want to get up. Sounds a lot like a man from the gospel today. We've got this man named Bartimaeus sitting at the roadside. Not only that, he's a beggar. And not only that, he's also blind. This guy probably doesn't get around very much. He's probably not walking a whole lot. And so it's likely that he's sitting all day long. But of course, Bartimaeus doesn't want to continue on that way. He wants to see. Now, normally the focus in this story is about Jesus curing the blindness of Bartimaeus. That's normally the focus of this. But is it just blindness that Jesus wants to cure? Is it something else too? Why would Bartimaeus want to see? If you're sitting in your own world all day, if, let's say, you're sitting in your couch and you've got your phone and that's your world, then why would you need to be able to get out and see the rest of reality? You're quite comfortable where you're at. But Bartimaeus wants to see that reality outside of his own little world. He wants to move, he wants to get up and get out of this comfort zone. But in order to see the broader reality, he has to get up. Why? Because Jesus is not going to come to him. He's got to get up and go to Jesus. Growing up in my home, there was a line commonly used. Get up off your duff. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means exactly what you think it means. Get up and move. Get up and go outside. Go do something. Because if you need to get something done, sitting and vegging all day is not going to do it. And so no matter how much Bartimaeus shouts out, cries out to Jesus, it's not going to do a whole lot because something's holding him back. Notice that when he gets up, it says he throws aside his cloak. What's the cloak? You can imagine that that's like a weighted blanket. Lots of people use weighted blankets to help them put themselves to sleep. It's good when you need to put yourself to sleep. It's not good when it's in the middle of the day and you need to get stuff done, because that's keeping you weighed down. And so by Bartimaeus taking this cloak and throwing it to the side, he's leaving behind that old life, leaving behind the life of a beggar, the life of blindness that is closed off to the whole reality of the world outside of him. Brothers and sisters, the goal of the Christian life is to take us from sitting on the ground and blind to getting up and moving, being able to see the path that's in front of us. That is the transition that Jesus wanted to work in this guy's life, and he wants to work that in your life and my life. But in order to get up, we have to put aside that cloak, that weighted blanket that holds us down, that keeps us confined to our own little world. That life of mediocrity that keeps you and me from striving for greatness in our spiritual life. The things that we need to throw aside that keep us entrenched in sins. The phones, all the technology, everything else that becomes an idol for us and keeps us from fostering a relationship with God. What is the cloak in your life that's keeping you weighed down from following Jesus completely? Jesus doesn't just want to cure our blindness. He wants to cure our spiritual sedentariness. It's almost like Jesus is saying to Bartimaeus, I'm not coming to you. You need to get up off your duff and come to me. And so the same thing is that we were made to move. We were made to be on a journey, and Jesus knows that. That's why he walked with his disciples. He didn't sit in a classroom and teach them. He walked along with them because they needed to move and follow a path. Now, you might not be able to get up from your desk at work or from school. I can't give you that permission to leave all that behind. However, in the life of our own path of discipleship, we can get up off of our duff and move closer to Jesus so that then our eyes can be opened to the path that's in front of us. When we're here at Mass, our eyes are opened when we're listening to the Word of God, when we see Jesus presenting himself in the Eucharist for us. And so at the end of Mass, as we're being prepared here, and the priest says, go in peace, means don't stay here. Get up off your duff and go out there. Be a disciple out there, in your work, in your school, in every other place that you live, it's out there. Like Bartimaeus. Let's go out and be disciples out there.